This session looks at the case studies, as Akeem just mentioned, regarding international responses to achieve ethical and just AI. We're going to start off with Dr. Caitlin Corrigan. Dr. Caitlin is the Executive Director of the Institute for Ethics in Artificial Intelligence at the Technical University of Munich. She has published several articles in academic journals and has worked as a consultant for local and international NGOs through the Research Group for Sustainable Impacts. She will present on Responsible AI in Africa project that is coordinated by her institute. So it's over to you, Dr. Corrigan.
Thank you very much. I will share a short presentation here. Can you all see that? So thank you for the introduction. My name is Caitlin, and I am the Executive Director at the Institute for Ethics and Artificial Intelligence. And I'm here today to talk to you about a project that we are a part of called the Responsible AI Network Africa, which was already, I'm very excitedly alluded to in one of the earlier presentations. So thank you for that. Just to give a sense of our institute and then the network, for years, TUM, the Technical University of Munich, has been a driving force in researching the mutual interactions of science, technology, and society, and has anchored this idea in the goal of human-centered engineering. With this aim, the Institute for Ethics and Artificial Intelligence was announced in 2019 with the mission to generate global, fair, and interdisciplinary guidelines for ethical development and implementation of AI throughout society. So the goal is to go beyond what is possible in AI to ask what should be possible in AI and how do we ensure that as many people as possible benefit from the rewards of AI. And we do this using a pretty strictly interdisciplinary approach of bringing technical sciences together with the humanities and social science to approach problems in responsible AI in a comprehensive way. To do this, we have kind of two sets of activities, and one is to support and coordinate interdisciplinary research at TUM through directly running projects and also coordinating projects across the university. But more applicable to what we're talking about today is to provide a platform for cooperation between all types of stakeholders that are trying to promote responsible use of AI. And this is through our research projects, through workshops and conferences and things like that, but also through a growing network, one of which is the Responsible AI Network Africa. So the Responsible AI Network Africa began in 2020 with a focus on emerging researchers in Africa. We at TUM worked with our strategic partners, KNUST and Ghana, and the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering to start to build this network really organically and from the ground up. The focus was on topics related to ethical and social challenges arising at the interface of technology and human values, and to exchange on the use of AI to promote sustainable development specifically in Africa. And what I think about with all these networks is that there's so much to do in responsible AI. There's so much to do in AI ethics, and it's such a new field in a lot of ways and growing more and more every day. There's no need for us to be competing or replicating or living in silos about this topic. Researchers should be coming together. We should be coming together globally across the world on it as well. And this was a first step that we and our partners at KNUST decided to work on. So the aim is to build a network of scholars working on responsible development and the use of AI. And we've done so through creating a base of country representatives. Here's some of them from our website. And we already heard from a couple today, actually. We are doing that by reaching out directly, mostly to academics or researchers working at research institutes or universities across the continent to try to just connect people, to figure out what are we all working on? Are there projects we can collaborate on and expand our efforts by combining our set of expertise? We've run workshops. We run at least several workshops every year on different topics related to AI as it relates to the continent of Africa. We had our most recent one a couple weeks ago on AI applications in Africa. And we also, through this and through meetings with our country representatives, one of the things we realize is that there's just a need to gather information, to have it be easily accessible and open to people. So one of the first initiatives we've had through RAIN Africa is to create this research and data repository where we're bringing together publications on the topic. We're trying to find use cases people can use in the classroom, as well as we want to expand this into data sets that can be used by people, and an inventory of our workshops and our different events, as well as a link to the Global AI Ethics Consortium, which I'll mention briefly at the end. So that's been one of our focus points, just to be a place where people can go and find information if they're interested in this topic. Through our workshops and our meetings, it's also come up a lot of common themes, come up in almost every workshop we have. So one, as I've heard mentioned today here, is the need for data access, the need for data hubs and data that's relevant to the tools that need to be developed and are being developed in the African context in order to make sure that they're accurate and effective. This is one of the things that comes up more than anything. Another is AI literacy, both among civil society, among governments, among researchers into what AI is and what it isn't, in order to promote acceptance of responsible AI and acknowledgement of where AI can be irresponsible, so that people are aware of how they're interacting with it. Related to the data hubs is kind of this applicability of tools to the local context. So for instance, in our past workshop looking at AI applications in Africa, these are ones being developed in different African countries for contexts to be used in country as well. And some of the challenges of data and things like that. Another topic, because we are predominantly a research, people from a research or academic background, is the idea of introducing AI ethics into the classroom. How do we get people thinking about AI ethics and responsible AI early on, not when they're already graduated and working for a company and somewhere down the line of developing a tool, but how do we introduce it right away in computer science programs? And there's actually a lot of hurdles to doing that. We have a book project coming out that will talk about this specifically. How do we get it more integrated into curriculums in African higher education? Not that this is particularly an issue to the continent of Africa. I think it's global, but there are specific challenges that universities there face. And definitely AI for sustainable development, this kind of AI for good trend. We see just so many amazing applications and interesting things coming out of our partners and our workshops on this topic in particular. Very quickly, last thing I want to talk about is the Global AI Ethics Consortium, because I think it overlaps. We have some members that are in both, and this kind of speaks to the same goal of thinking about AI ethics broadly, that it's a global concern and that AI ethics may look very different in different places. And so we have to talk about those regional distinctions as well as capitalize on our shared goals. And that's something we also do through the other consortium we run, which is the Global AI Ethics Consortium. That includes some of our African members, but goes beyond that as well. So I will stop there. Unfortunately, I can't stay for the whole session. So please, if you have any questions, put them in the chat and I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you, Caitlin. I think your presentation underscores the need for all of us to work together, and hopefully this session, provides that opportunity for collaboration.